Hey guys, it's me, Stephanie, with Quotes of a Queen, where we talk about real topics in real time. And today's quote is self love. Self love is the best love, guys. But first, before we dive into this and you take this journey with me to self love, I need you to like, subscribe, and share. And turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime that we drop an episode of Quotes of a Queen. Let's go. Hey guys, this is Stephanie with Quotes of a Queen, where we talk about real topics in real time. And as you guys seen earlier in the clip, we're going to talk a little bit about self-love. And I chose self-love today because self-love is the best love, baby. And I just kind of wanted to drop in and to remind all of you guys that self-love is the best love. Loving you is important. And as I was brainstorming and, just waiting for things to be dropped in my spirit, because we ought to be looking for things to be dropped in our spirit, so that we may utilize them in our own lives and also pass it along to our fellow brother or sister, because you never know what type of situation a person is in and how that information that you were open to receive could help them. But like I said, we're just going to touch on a couple of points of self-love because I think it's so important. I got a couple of notes here that I kind of wanted to go over with you guys and share with you guys regarding this. And I have a couple of points here. And number one is self-love is a result of self-discovery, which is just kind of finding out who you are. Who am I? Where did I come from? What is the source of who I am? Of course, we all know the source is our creator who created us. But as we dive into these last days, per se, our identity as the Most High's chosen people, and I'm referring to melanated people, no disrespect to any other race or anything like that. It's just, this is the truth, that has been uncovered, and it's being uncovered more and more. So as you, or should I say as we, because we're taking this journey together day by day, as we discover more and more of who we are as the Most High's people and how we are supposed to be operating in different things, self-love will, what's the word I want to say? Self-love will abound. It will increase. It will expand. In each and every one of our lives, because of the simple fact that we are starting to know the logical reason why we and have been in the position that we've been over decades, over years, decades, centuries. And like I said, what we do is begin to uncover these truths so that it may help us have that self-love that so many of us need. And the way to do that is to definitely get into the word, because the word, and another word for the word in Hebrew is Torah. We need to get into understanding where our heritage comes from, where we originated from, why we go through the things that we go through and still go through today, and how we can correct those things. But as I said, that's for a whole nother video. But as far as self-love, that is definitely required. Self-discovery, knowing where you came from, what is your heritage, what is, what's in your loin and lineage. Number two, self-love is a form of self-worth. And it is. Because, people find worth in so many things. I mean, they buy clothes, expensive shoes, expensive car collections, things to add to their worth. And our culture is definitely bad about that. What it does to us is define our worth in the things that we have, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. We have to find our self-worth within. It's within. It's a lot of times we go outward looking for self-worth, which in turn brings a facade as it pertains to saying, I love myself, self-love. But it's all an illusion from the enemy. because now you have attached these tangible physical things to your self-worth and to define you by those things. And that's not what we want. That's not what the Most High intended for us to have. We are everything. We are royalty. We are amazing. We are trendsetters. We are, I could go on and on. You know, those are the things that describe us if we want to step into our true identity. But like I said, I'm here today to kind of give some points on why we don't know our identity and how we can begin to expound on those things so that we can love ourselves better and to the utmost. Let's see. Number 3 is going to be self-love is a result of self-esteem. And it is. When we don't have self-love, there's prostitution that arises, domestic violence, relationships that don't mean you any good, that you shouldn't even be entertaining and giving your energy to. Let's see. Dealing with things on your job that you don't have to whenever, you're on a level mentally and spiritually above your pay grade and above the things that you deal with on your job. So, that's also an issue with self-love, putting up with things that you wouldn't and you shouldn't if you knew who you were. So we have to be careful of that and not let people become our problem. Because another thing with people is that they find themselves blaming themselves instead of recognizing that this is being projected on you. Certain behaviors are being projected on you. But instead, you take the blame because what? You don't have self-love. You don't have self-worth. You don't have self-esteem. So, all of these things, they're not arrogant when you say self. Because to love someone else, you definitely have to love self. So don't let anybody make you feel some type of way because you love yourself. Because they think it's a form of arrogance, but it's a form of confidence. And it's also affirming that I can love you in its entirety due to the fact that I love myself. Because like the word says, to love thy Father with all thy mind, thy soul, and thy strength. And the second one is like it, which is love your neighbor as you love yourself. But how can one love their neighbor without the love for themselves? So what I like to say, and what I've started saying since I've seen this other multifaceted logistic of self-love, when someone says, I love you, or they tell me that they love me, I go, do you love you though? And I have people like, yes, I love me. What do you mean? If I told you I loved you, I love me. I'm saying, do I though? Because we have a habit of wanting to love people and get validation from people before we even validate ourselves. So, I always ask that question and tell them, well, if you love yourself, then I know you love me. So the next time somebody asks or tells you, I love you, ask them, do you love you? Ask them, do they love themselves? It's kind of a tongue twister. Do you love you? Do you love you? But yeah, ask that question, and you'll be surprised how many people are baffled because they have a lack of understanding about self-love and what it looks like and what it feels like. Self-affirmation is definitely needed. Give yourself a pat on the back sometime. You're too hard on yourself. You think the things are supposed to gel together in the way that you want them to exactly. Whenever you, like they say, if you want to make our Father laugh, tell him your plans. Because of the simple fact, your life, our lives, my life, and everything that was supposed to happen with it was planned. It's us that takes ourselves off course. And we've had a little help with it, from disobedience from our forefathers and just way back. There's been since the days of the Bible, there has been disobedience towards our Father, which is, you can read Deuteronomy 28. That chapter is so self-explanatory to show, a part of who we are and our true identity as his chosen people. Judah and Israel, you know, the chosen people that he honored, and that he also told that if you disobeyed, you will be in big trouble. And as you've seen, the disobedience was much, because of the simple fact of what we've been going through and what we still go through right now today. But there is more than enough chance, should I say, to get in line with what the word says about the Most High's people. Even in these last days, there's time to turn this around. His word said that he will have a remnant of people who will turn this thing around and get in line, and so that they may walk and receive the blessings and things that we were supposed to have according to the word, had we not disobeyed. And when I say we, I mean our forefathers and ancestors and stuff, but we're in the bloodline of that. We're the bloodline of that disobedience. And for the fact that it's still going on right now with all the senseless killings, the rape, and I'm talking about in our own community, like, we have to hold ourselves accountable as well. We can't point the blame every time on someone else or on the offender, because if us, the offended, was in line, not saying that it's right how we've been done, but we placed ourselves in a position due to disobedience to be done this way. So if we do not place ourselves in the way of disobedience, then we can make that change in these last days. Realizing once again who we are, because our identity has been washed away. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read the Willie Lynch letter, but it's a must read. I think you should read it, because it definitely talks about and points to a lot of aspects of who we were and who we are. So, like I said, this self-love is a big thing, you guys, but it's hard to have a deep self-love in its entirety when you don't really truly know who you are, where you came from, and you were given a name and you were given a heritage, if I could say that. You also, with self-love, you also have to have forgiveness. Forgive yourself so that you can move on. Forgive yourself for the things that you may have done in the past. Forgive yourself for blaming yourself for what others have done to you. You have to release that. You got to release it totally in order for you to have true self-love. And last but not least, I just want to touch on this before I go. But I realized something that was real important that I had written down the other day. And that's, self-love is the first and foremost important relationship. It's with ourselves, within ourselves, and with ourselves. And that was defined and called interpersonal, when you're wanting the validation from other people and making sure that you have the love from them. But we're really, in all reality, we are supposed to practice having a intra-personal, not inter, but intra-personal relationship with it, which is a personal relationship within. And if we are supposed to be the sons and daughters of the Most High, we should be filled with His Spirit. So when we dig within, that means that the Spirit is going to identify with us, therefore confirming who we are, therefore resulting in true self-love. Because the Most High is love, our Father. And we'll dive into some other things as it pertains to our heritage in Hebrew, learning the Hebrew language, understanding that English was not our first language. The English was given to us. They have the Bible says King James Version. So anything that's not a version, or excuse me, anything that's a version is not the original. So dig deep. Don't just stay on the surface of things, because the time is now to dig deep, to find out who we truly are. Continue to ask the Most High to uncover, as He promised He would. It says in His word that his people would not know who they were and what their identity was. And that was referring to us. So you guys, let's dig deep. This is important. This is heavy artillery. Some may call you crazy. Some may call you weird. Whatever they want to call you, let them call you. Because if you have self-love, like we talked about today, self-affirmation, self-discovery, it won't bother you. Because of the simple fact, if they tell you that I don't love you anymore, I don't like you anymore, you're weird, you're different, you're doing something different, well, you say that's not going to bother me because I love me. So even when you don't love me, I love me. So that's how that works. I think that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. For whenever I'm speaking with you guys, I'm speaking to myself. I'm just being led by the Most High. I'm not perfect. I will never will be, and none of you ever will be. So, let's just take this ride and, consult with our Father on a daily to this wonderful self-discovery. It's wonderful, guys, and it's something to be joyful about. All right, guys, this is Stephanie once again with Quotes of a Queen, where we talk about real topics in real time. I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.